Our universe isn't quiet or silent. It listens to our responses and it mirrors back to us the energy and our beliefs that that energy carries, where we're in constant communication with the universe. You are the universe. You're just unaware that you are. Your thoughts and emotions, even your silence, is a form of communication. If you're unaware of this, I'd like to make you aware of it. Questions I'm receiving are around manifestation. So how can one manifest effectively? Stay with me here. If this universe that we live in, it's not static, it's not random, and it sees all things. Our universe is truly breathing and is alive as we are. It has rhythmic intelligence. It vibrates. Everything is energy, and all energy vibrates from the smallest particle to the vast, expansive galaxies. Everything that exists is in motion. This motion is what I refer to as the vibration. Science, and through the eyes of quantum physics, they have long discovered that matter is not as solid as it appears. At a subatomic level, particles flicker in and out of existence, and that their behavior seems to be influenced by observation itself. The apparent chaos is an elegant dance of the truth that all things are energy and vibrating at different frequencies and cadence. Science and quantum physics has even proved that this vibration has various speeds, cadence, if you will, to it. Let me give you an example. Fear has a lower vibrational cadence than love. Truth versus untruth both have different vibrational cadences. There is a difference in the speed, the quality, and the tone. This is what I mean by cadence. Based on our thoughts and our emotions, we experience those thoughts. Our thoughts are like energetic signals to each other thought, and it emits a different frequency. The universe is a cosmic mirror, and it reflects everything. Where you're constantly broadcasting out, you are constantly receiving information in. Yet it doesn't stop there. Our emotions play a crucial role in shaping the frequencies in our life, because a thought carries an emotion, and emotions are the language of the body. Thoughts are the language of the mind. The emotion is great as a conscious manifestation of your thought, and the feeling that should accompany that manifestation play a real role in whether it will be manifested in reality or not. Repetitive thoughts and emotions are what cause chronic conditions in our bodies. So take this for an example. If I have negative chronic conditions that I constantly have banter about, complain about, have thoughts and emotions about, they will eventually cause an emotion in the body. After 10 months of that repetitive behavior, it makes it clear to see Most of, not all humans are unaware that this is even occurring within themselves. If you're unaware of something, you don't know. You can't be faulted for that or blamed for that. First thing to clean up is the myths. Not everything that we read, watch, or experience or we're taught are true. Simply because the veil is still up for some, therefore they're blocked from their view. You're unaware, so therefore, and most importantly, this is not a blame game. It's no one's fault. The mind doesn't even know the difference between an actual event or an experience of a memory of an event you are having. The mind can't tell the difference. The mind is a very powerful tool, or your worst adversary. The true language of our universe is vibrational. It's not verbal. Consciousness is not a concept. It's a feeling. I hold a calm, confident belief that abundance is a natural state in the universe. Our thoughts are not just words. They are expressions of a deep internal alignment within oneself, and this alignment emits a high or low frequency and will be mirrored back to you by the universe. So you can understand why it's not words. Our thoughts are not just words again. They are expressions of a deep internal alignment of abundance. We could say, for example, over and over in words, I deserve love. Yet your emotions resonate with a vibration and a cadence of I will never be loved. See the difference? So if you have words coming out of your mouth and the belief that you feel in your heart does not follow those words, then Spirit, God, Creator, Source knows and will mirror back to you the things you feel you don't have and continue to want. Because the emotions within your body surrounding love say you're unworthy of love. You're not. Therefore, the universe gives you more things to feel unworthy for. You understand? Your energetic body holds the score. The vibration is rhythm, its speed, its intent are all different based on what's true to you. What's true to you. Our Creator doesn't miss a thing. Our willpower to think only good thoughts isn't enough. Everything you believe to be true about the universe, it's true to you. It doesn't make it a fact, does it? It's only true to you. So manifestation isn't about words or about forcing an outcome. It's not about convincing Creator, God, or Source that you need or don't have something. It's about a vibrational alignment. And if everything has a vibration to it, you have to match the vibrational alignment. So let me say, if you are saying, I would like to manifest money, money has a frequency. And so you have to match the frequency of money to align yourself in that vibrational cadence with money. Are you with me? So let me ask you, are you in vibrational alignment with what you say aloud or think in words to express a certain way? One must become vigilantly aligned with what you want to receive. Love, you must really, if you want to want love in your life, that's another example, then you have to become love. If you want wealth, you have to become wealth. If you want compassion, you have to become compassionate. You have to become all the things that you say you want from another, right? I'm looking at my notes. If you want peace, you must become peaceful. Yes? Cheers. I'm referring to the frequency you omit. They must match. The frequency must match. You cannot change what you're unaware of, number one. And so just maybe try observing your inner state, not just what you're thinking, but how do you feel? Those feelings are the most honest indication of the vibrational state you're in. The thought you're thinking is the lie, and the emotion you're feeling is the truth. We can choose thoughts and behaviors, and we can practice lifting ourselves up, being grateful. I name 3 things daily, that I can see that are in my environment that I'm grateful for. And it could be as simple as a flower outside, or a bumblebee eating off of the petal of a rose. If you become grateful, because gratitude and love are 2 of the most highest frequencies in the universe, because that's all that exists is love. There is no separation. There's no you and I. It is oneness, consciousness, and we are all the light of Christ consciousness, and we are the micro to the macro, or we're the macro to the micro. I don't know which one, however you choose to say it. I say it a certain way, and others will say it another way. We are the speck of light of Christ consciousness, who is the massive, enormous creator light of our universe. All things. If you want peace, you have to become peaceful. So anger carries a frequency. So it's important to be really mindful of what we think. Because what we think causes a behavior based on an emotion that's in the body. So if you just try observing your inner state, not just what you're feeling, thinking, sitting with the feelings, not engaging them. The feelings, again, are the most honest indication of the vibrational state that you're currently in. And the thoughts, my friend, are going to be the untruths. And the emotions you feel is the truth. And so we can choose thoughts, behaviors, and we can practice lifting ourselves up. Try writing down 3 things that you're grateful for that you can see today. It can be a flower, it can be the sun, it can be the birds. Try staying in the now. The first step to spiritual awakening is awareness. You cannot have a spiritual awakening and become aware of something until you become aware of it, right? You cannot change what you're unaware of. So you have to observe your inner state, not just what you're thinking, but how you are feeling. Everything that you seek answers to lies within you. So if you take the control of the signals that you're emitting, that's a shamanic culture and an ancestral family that will help you possibly clear from that ancestral karma, that baggage from the past. Maybe do some Reiki with someone, because the body does hold the score, truly does. If you took your brain out and you examined our brain and you looked at the certain centers of the brain that are responsible for memory, and you took it out and you dissected it, you wouldn't find one of my memories in that center. So everything that you seek lies within you. Every answer to every question you ask lies within you. Maybe try take control of the signals that you're just omitting. You know, here's a perfect example. You could be driving on the freeway and someone's in a hurry and they cut you off and almost create an accident. It's upsetting and it's dangerous and it could have harmed somebody. And so you have feelings and emotions, normal ones about that. We all do. But to flip them off or cuss them out in your car when they can't even hear you, or the anger or your frustration or anything that you're saying is upsetting your day. You're allowing that person to change the energy of your day. That doesn't make it right or wrong that they cut you off, no, but life isn't easy. Life's messy, right? And so we have to clean it up, and we have to clean it up, and we only can clean it up our part of it. We cannot clean up the part of someone else's job to do their inner work, their shadow work. So everything that you seek is inside of you, and if you take control of the signals that you're omitting out, that's considered shamanic cultures. And it's and you have ancestral family and shamanic gurus, teachers, Reiki practitioners, healers, whatever it is that you want to call them. They can help release any ancestral family trauma that's been stored in the body and help you clear it. Your authentic truth, right? To intend to meet an ancestral partnership and to release all the souls. Because in shamanic practice, we believe souls are being stolen. And they're being stolen without their permission. Energy vampires and such, which is a whole nother topic. So let's ask our ancestral partners, our angels, our guides, our ancestral family, right, to help us with the decree of thanks to them, and ask them to meet you in meditation and to help and perform a ceremony with you to clear any ancestral line or free any stolen souls, to offer forgiveness and compassion to yourself, to others, and the collective, to thank your ancestral family, your angels, your guides, Creator, for working with you and getting you through all family struggles and helping you with unhealthy connections within. I want my family, past, ancestral, or current family, to be in the greatest health and emotional, spiritual, and physical well-being that they possibly can, and I usually add that. Prior to my shift in consciousness, I wasn't aware of any of this. I wasn't aware of my thoughts and the words and the vibrations, and that it was our energy. So I want to help if I can. So help me be mindful of my thoughts, right? And I'll help you be mindful of yours, because we can only be responsible for the way we respond, the way we handle situations. I deserve to clear and to heal my entire ancestral line and the collective, and spirit, guide, creator, my ancestral guides, help and show me the way. And it's with a pure heart, with felt love and pure intention, that we all heal together now, in the now, and there say, it will be done. And that in itself is a ceremony to me. But it entails a whole lot of things that's going on within you, that you write, that you have intentions with. Maybe you light a candle, maybe you pray, maybe you call in your guides. I don't know your practice, but it is a perfect, beautiful way to begin a practice. The first ceremony that I ever self-performed, I drummed for 11 minutes and 45 seconds, and I drummed to Sandra Ingerman and her videos, and it assisted me in getting into the journey to other realms and to release and to heal and to forgive all karmic ancestral pain and to return any souls that were ever taken by me, to release and to let go. And then it was a beautiful, great first journey. It doesn't have to be lengthy. It doesn't have to be anything of the... It's what you need, and Spirit brings you at the perfect time what you need. So I do a journey. I began journeying when I realized that I was some sort of downloaded some sort of gift of shamanic ancestral... I don't even know. I don't even have words for what I was shown and what the abilities that I'm having in my body. There's not a title for it, and it would be just a label if I found one. So I won't. I'm just being used as a vessel to point the way for others. That's the way I'm going to put it. I think to do a journey I did a journey every day for 30 days, and when I first began drumming, to see where the journeying took me. And that is a whole nother story of where my journey took me. But I just want you to, I'm just trying to make you a little aware of some of these things. And if it sounds scattered, or like I'm not real sure of myself, or I'm not remembering, or it sounds funny or something to you, it's like it's not meshing or adding up, it's because I'm going through it. I'm in the thick of it now. It's 6 years and almost 6 months since my spiritual awakening in 2019. And the things that you go through, they don't talk about, they don't tell you, and they're certainly not discussed on YouTube, because if they were, you would click off the video right away and you would give it a thumbs down, because you'd say, I want no fucking part of that. Because a spiritual awakening is it's not for the faint-hearted. It's not for the faint-hearted. And the call's universal. Everybody gets it. But it's based on your free will whether or not you're going to accept it. So, based on what I've told you, if I told you that the universe was alive, a living, breathing organism, would you believe me? Our universe isn't what you believe it to be. Unless you're an awakened soul and you can see the 3D reality with your eyes open and the veil has been brought down, you are in an illusion, a delusion of the mind, in a form, a bag of bones and skin, in a matrix that we call the universe. Our universe is not what you believe it to be. If you're awakened, you will see, you will become aware, and therefore have awareness. We live in a matrix, and it's all an illusion. We are sentinel beings in a bag of bones and skin, and our body is an avatar, and it's fit for the conditions in which we chose to come to, here, down here, on Earth, in the universe. Other sentinel beings make the same kind of choice, and they put themselves in a form that is conducive to the environment in which they are going to. We are all sentinel beings. Whether or not you choose a human form, a cat, a flower, a dog, a tiger, a lion, a gator. It doesn't matter what the form is. You chose it. And you chose it to go to the matrix, whichever matrix you chose, to fit that environment so you could survive compatibly on that or in that environment. So when I tell you it's all an illusion, that we are sentinel beings, we are. If you take the word human being, you break it down, human being. You hear people say all the time, well, I'm just human. You're not just human. You've learned to be a human and play the game of human life in the 3D matrix. But you're a sentinel being. You are the light of Christ consciousness. And the body, the form that you took on is just the form you took on. And that form is an avatar, let's say. It's the one you chose when you agreed to come to this planet or to whatever realm you chose to go to. You have been reincarnated several times. You have lived multiple lifetimes in multiple different forms. Therefore, if you think about what I'm saying, all that exists in the matrix is love. There is nothing in this vast realm of multidimensional realm where all possibilities lie. Anything and everything that will ever be created or was created came from this field. You would know you're multidimensional. You would know that you were brought into this realm and chose the form in which you came in with. And example, I'll use myself. I used my mother's womb as a form to get here. Yes, there's a whole bunch of things that go wrong with that, but in hindsight, bottom line, 2020, just the bottom line, and what I'm saying is my mother was the vessel, her womb was the vessel to bring me into this universe. I wasn't born, so there is no death. And that's the first thing you'll learn when you awaken. Well, there's a few things that you'll say to yourself the minute you awaken, but we'll get there. Our body is an avatar, and it's the one you chose when you agreed to come here to the universe. And you have lived in multiple lifetimes, as I stated, in different forms. And there's no birth, therefore there's no death. We experience death and rebirth multiple times in different forms, as I just stated. You don't remember, that's all. And you will simply say, oh, this place, I don't know what it is, but it's familiar to me, and I've been here, I've done this very same thing. You know what I'm talking about? You just don't remember being there. But when it was triggered, you walked into it. Let's say it was a little boutique and something there triggered it. You would remember, and you would simply say, oh, wow, that's deja vu. That's what you would say. And you'd brush it off as a coincidence. You'd convince the mind that you had never been there when it was a very precious moment, and the unconscious mind reared and showed you that you are more than unconscious and multidimensional. You're just slumbering and are unaware of it, so you chalked it up to intuition or superstition or deja vu, right? You'll simply say, oh, this place is familiar. I've been here before, and I've done this very exact thing. That's your soul remembering. You don't even understand why you're feeling the way you're feeling. That's another reason to blow it off, right? Like, I've walked into places that have caused and triggered a sentimental pain of a lost loved one, right? And it triggered that. And sometimes Spirit, God Creator, has a very good way of protecting us and saying, in the Bible, I will not give you more than you can handle. So, I mean, the next time you walk into a place and you say that you've been there before or it's familiar, don't blow it off. There's a reason. There's another reason for you to blow it off, but, oh, it's my imagination. Oh, I'm going to explain this like, oh, how could I do it? Let's see. I'm going to explain this like a game. That's the only way I can explain it that gives you some sort of, I can't even figure out the word I want to say because there's not a thought in my brain, so you'll have to excuse me. I want to show this in a way that the collective can better understand it. So I've picked this way, and you'll have to tell me if it works or doesn't work, okay? So I'm going to explain it like a game, like a virtual reality game. I believe that gives it the closest visual to assisting you in your imagination and understanding. So first, let's be perfectly clear, okay? Perfectly clear. Consciousness is not a concept. It's not something you're going to be able to analytically understand. Consciousness is not a form. You can't hold it in your hands. It is a feeling. It is a feeling. One must experience this for themselves to fully integrate the topic that I'm discussing. All I want to do here is kind of point the way, if you'll allow me, okay? My shift in consciousness, awareness, occurred March 28th, 2019. I went to bed the night before and I woke up a totally different person. I woke up and the shift happened while I was sleeping. The shift shook my very foundation. Who I was historically, shook my beliefs, shook my limited behavior, shook my mindset, and every foundation that I had built in my life was built on those beliefs and those limiting behaviors, and so they were faulty foundations of untruth. It's all part of the awakening process, right? Our belief patterns, our modes of operation, the way we function in life to get the things in life that we want to have, right? The way we get them, our identity, all built on a faulty foundation. And I'm going to preface here in quotes that unless your parents were conscious, you were raised with these faulty foundations as well. If our parents, my parents, I'm going to just use myself again because that's all I have to utilize. If my parents were conscious humans, they would have raised me consciously, but they weren't. They were sound sleep, and most are and were. And when I say sleep, I'm meaning They're walking around slumbering, not conscious of consciousness. They, or I included, because I walked around creating such misery for myself and others that it was terrible, right? Each of the beliefs that I had, each one were taught to me and can be totally different than another's, right? What you were taught is different than what I was taught or the next guy. So everything from the color of our skin to religion to the sector that we live in, the income that our parents make, our status, our family, our history, our schools, everything that reared us, right? Anything that you can think of growing up to about the age of 7 years old. All those things played a part in molding and shaping our identity into the little self that we created by the age of 7. So by the time we were the age of 7, we knew who we were, how to behave, how to get what we needed in life, and how to get that, right? By all of the people, places, and things that shaped me into the person that I was that day, right? And no individual is ever the same. We're all taught things and shown things on how to act, how to behave, etc. differently, because we're all reared in different families. So the identity that your ego carved out for yourself, it's the illusion. It's not who you are. You are acting out a script, if you will, and it gets you all of the things that you need in life. We were all born into this collective. Born into this collective. Brought into this collective. A collective of beings who forgot who they are. That created separation. I'm separate from my mother. I'm separate from my father. I'm separate from my neighbor. I'm separate from the dog. I'm separate from the flower. It created separation. The principles I operated under were all taught to me. Not good, bad, or indifferent, just fact. And we're all born into that collective illusion of the mind. And this illusion of the mind is insidious. It grows and it strengthens itself through the ego. And so my greatest accomplishment in life was awakening up to the illusion of this. My parents' dysfunction was my parents' greatest gift to me. This is just some FYI information. Trauma wounds, nature of the wound, right? Are you still carrying a trauma wound that you experienced in your past? Trauma is what happens in our body, our mind, emotions due to an event that we possibly have experienced. Not possibly, that we have experienced. And it's my experience that if I was injured as a child from an experience I had as a child, I fragmented one of my 5 senses, whatever it was, as a coping mechanism. It's automatic, like your autonomic nervous system. It's built in, right? It's built in like our autonomic nervous system. It's automatic. It's unconscious to us, unless you're awakened. Even then, one must really just release the resistance to what was. There is no past. There is no future. And anything that ever happened to you or to me as a person happened in the now. This is why spontaneous healing can be done and why it takes place. Healing takes place in the now. It's instant. The clients say, I've been healed, and they say it instantly. You know why? Because the client made a decision to heal long before they came in to see me. They had seen and been to different modalities such as counseling and other types of treatment. They're at their end of their rope. They're hopeless, and out of desperation, they seek me out as a Reiki practitioner to have Reiki energy healing. They feel what I do. I have to, I'm losing energy by giving it to them, and I'm not losing any energy. So healing begins in our first session, right? They don't say to me until about their third treatment. By then, they're very excited and telling me things that are happening to them, how they're sleeping better, eating better, how their anxiety is lower, how they've been able to decrease some medications. They say, I am unclear of how this is happening to me, but something's happening to me. I'm sleeping better, my pain has disappeared, I feel amazing, and now they want me to explain how it works. I simply just explain to, and I make them aware. It's a conscious decision that they made themselves before they even came to me for a Reiki session. That the healing was already given to you by Creator because you made a conscious decision long before you saw me to heal. I think I would be doing my patients a disservice if when they came to me, I said, oh, you need healing? You're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing broken. You don't need healing. You are perfect as you are. You just have forgot who you are. And all I do is remind you. That's it. It's quite beautiful. So, let me take a drink. Some of the medicines they have me taking for the chemotherapy and all that shit are really drying. So I simply explain it that way. Before you come to me, you've made a conscious decision to heal. Therefore, the healing was already given to you by your Creator before you even walked into my studio. The second you decide to heal, they ask, how many treatments do I need to have? I always tell them the same thing. As many treatments as you want and feel you need. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with anyone. They don't come to me to get healed. I'm not a healer. Creator just uses me as a vehicle to place my hands on another plant, person, animal, etc., and move energy. You make the decision to heal. Therefore, Creator gives you the healing through me. That's it. That's it. It's like a delivery system. If you have a transmission and your transmission runs your steering, if you don't put transmission fluid in, you can't steer your car, right? So if you say, I want healing, and you make an honest intention and a conscious decision to receive that healing, Creator knows whether or not it's a valid intention or whether you're blowing smoke up your ass, right? And I say your own ass because that's what you'd be doing, blowing smoke up your own ass, not Creator's. Because Creator knows before you do. That's it. The brain doesn't know the difference, my darlings. The brain doesn't know the difference between an actual event or a remembered event. Meditation and chakra work that I do is congruent focus on matter. Something's material. People always say that's the type of meditation I should use. I use a divergent focus. I focus on energy, body parts meditation. I rest my energy and my eyes around the space, around space and time, object, place and time, form, right? The brain doesn't know the difference. A convergent focus is where there's matter. You're focusing on some matter. If you're trying to move matter to matter, wouldn't that take you an awful lot of time? It would be heavy, gut-wrenching, lifting work, right? You can't, to change matter if you say you're matter for me to, and you're ahead of me by 5 feet, in order for me to catch up to you, I'm going to have to hustle my body a little bit faster to catch you, and that takes time. So matter and time sometimes that create material, that's a convergent focus. I like to use divergent focus. I think Joe speaks about convergent, divergent, and you can call it anything you want. It's just a different focus on energy body part, right? I focus on the energy, the body part during meditation. I rest my attention on the eyes or the space around the head if I'm working with the head, or the practice to master divergent or convergent practice. I slowly decrease brain waves down, and the brain and the body can be knocked out by traumatic injury or stress. So I heal, move energy, slow the brain down, and I attempt to assist them in rewriting some of the subconscious programming that they were reared with. So the brain and the body can be knocked out of stress, knocked out by trauma or stress. Because I explained all frequencies carry information, and the autonomic nervous system is part of our limbic system, the system that's automatic part of our limbic system to control homeostasis in our body, hormones and blood sugar and balance and equilibrium, right? It's done beyond our conscious mind. We're not doing it. Who's doing that? Have you ever asked yourself, who's doing that? The first center is the creative center. The second is imagination and digestion. And when unsafe and the energies move to the third center, now we have a will, free will. The first center creates life. It's a creative, energetic center. It controls your gonads, your testes, your vaginal, your sexual organs. And the second chakra is safety and protection in families. And so by the time you get to the third, that's your free will, that's your sovereignty. And the fourth is love, and the fifth, sixth, and so forth. So you see the way that reality really is and balanced and harmonious in all of those centers. If one of those centers are whacked out or offline because of trauma or stress in one's life, that chakra can be going backwards, it can be moving too fast forward, it can be not moving at all and completely shut down and blocked, right? And so the way reality really is a balance of hormones and harmony in all of those centers, because each one of those chakra centers have a specific function, and they take their specific function very seriously. And then I work all the way up to the 8th chakra, where I download information from the cosmos. So trauma and stress can cause this energies to get stuck, if you will, in these centers, in these latent systems in the brain. It's going to be activated, and if it's done correctly, right? Example, let me see. Okay, let's use a childhood trauma of shock. It's easy to see how these energies are stuck or blocked in one of the centers and can't make its way back to the brain, right? Let's say you have a child, and the child's 6, and now has you were in an automobile accident with the child. The child doesn't know auto accident and all of the details that go along with the specifications of another vehicle hitting another vehicle. They just know that they have pain, and that the pain they have hurts, causes shock to the body. And they operate on 5 senses. So shock to the body causes fear and trauma. So the child may not be able to get to the mom or the dad to be comforted right that moment. So they fragment that trauma or that shock. So it's easy to see how these energies can get stuck and are blocked, or like I said before, one of the energy centers can't move its way back up to the brain. I clear those chakras. The reality is past, how can I say that, Spirit? Cheers. Reality is part particle and part wave, part matter and part energy. And becoming aware of the space around that client's body, whichever body part I'm working on, by focusing on that, I will slow their brainwave patterns down to alpha, to beta brainwaves. And beta, you're able to make decisions. You are separate from your operating system at that time. Separate from what I mean, from your autonomic nervous system, those subconscious programs that run in the background that you're unaware of. You're separate from that. And most people focus on matter. Like I was saying, if I'm walking in front of you and you want to catch up with me, you know you've got to move your form quicker, faster to catch up to me, and that's going to take time. So changing matter to matter takes time. You see how that works? So if I have you at a point in my studio where you are past and separate from your autonomic nervous system, here is where quantum physics comes in and takes over. I can clear the energy from that center, and I can focus it, and I can also rewrite it. Yes? Because when I get to the area that causes the pain, I'm alerted, because everything I've stated, remember, has a vibrational cadence to it. Pain and fear and anger have a whole different cadence and a whole different frequency than love, healing, and comfort, right? And so once I slow their brain waves down, their brainwave patterns, they begin to breathe on a cyclical pattern, my pattern. I am not breathing in a fight-flight pattern any longer. I'm breathing in a normal homeostatic pattern. They pick up my heartbeat, and they begin to mimic my heartbeat and my brain pattern and beta, and I'm able to, because we're separate at that point from the autonomic nervous system, I'm able to rewrite some programming, because when I get to that center, and it involved a childhood trauma of shock, it will be shown to me a childhood trauma of shock, right? And now that you're separate in your mind, and I'm separate in my mind from the autonomic nervous system, the subconscious programming that's running in the background that you're not aware of, quantum physics, I can change focus from a covergent to a divergent focus. A beta pattern in your consciousness, in your neocortex of the brain, and your separation from the autonomic nervous system at this point, real change takes place here. And that's why they say, I don't understand it. I don't understand why I spent an hour with you and I feel like a whole different person. I don't even feel like the same person. They don't understand it, because real change takes place there. And you have to be open awareness and continue to assist yourself through meditation, to continue to enhance slowing your brain down. And so it makes sense if, when the brain and the body are knocked out due to hormones or stress or trauma, this causes the brain to fire incoherently, doesn't it? And it sends incoherent messages down into the spinal cord to each one of the little brains, all the way down, right? Because each chakra has a brain, a mini brain to it. So, I mean, if you look at the quantum model of energy and frequency, matter and energy, if you focus around the body during meditation, you slow those brain patterns down in beta brain wave patterns. You're in the conscious neocortex and separate from the autonomic nervous system. Meditation slows the main I guess like highway system, like if you get on the freeway, the entire system, it runs the entire show, right? Slows the main way, the main highway, and the healing takes place there. And once you learn how to create coherence in each one of these energy centers, right, and someone teaches you or guides you, you begin to feel ligand, the bond, which is a bond which is three types. We have three types of them: a neurotransmitter, neuropeptides, and hormonal. Those are the three ligands that bond to one another. Neurotransmitters tell our body to act a certain way. We get scared, we go into a fight-flight mode. Certain hormones are released, your heart rate goes up, your palms begin to get sweaty, and now you want to fight somebody or flee the situation in your environment. That's hormonal. The peptides that are there are fatty peptides that are assisting the neurotransmitters. And the neurotransmitters are for, let me give you an example. I'm sure you've experienced this as a child. Your mom or your dad's cooking and all of a sudden you touch the stove and you feel that it's hot. The neurotransmitter in the brain gives you a message. That neurotransmitter is the message. That's hot. Don't touch that. It sends a neuropeptide out. It's released through hormones. And those are run by the first 1 through 3 chakra inside the body, energy focused. 4 through 8 chakras are the outside of the body. So coherence is health, and incoherence is disease. And you can perfectly see the diagram, the dialogue of health versus disease. Healing in the first 3 chakras, you have to tune each chakra and just feel gratitude. Worthy to receive the healing. The primal limbic and neocortex, they work together as one to keep us alive. And we have 3 brains in science, right? The forebrain's 40% of the brain. The frontal lobe, the CEO, the executor, the one that fucking has the focused concentration. And then your primal reptilian brain. Neocortex is the first brain. The limbic brain is the second brain. And the seat of the autonomic nervous system. It's subconscious and it controls your heart rate, your blood pressure, your digestion. And it's the feelings and emotions. And you have to really, really remember it's automatic. And each of these little brains has a very distinct role and function, as I stated, and they work independently to help us survive. So, who was it? I don't know if I say that right. Schoenbring in 1950s. There was a doctor that Paul MacLean who proposed that the human brain is essentially 3 brains in one. His theories were based on and around the concept that the human brain evolved from the need to survive. So I don't want to be given time and depth of his theory or thoughts about the evolution, rather the beauty of the proven design of our brains, but he discussed the primal, the reptilian brain, right? That's coined as the first brain, the primal brain. The main job is to keep us alive. Basic life support, such as your autonomic breathing. Also alerting us to the need of food or the need to find safety. Alerting us of intimate danger. Once the signal is picked up as danger or a threat in our survival, it will send an alarm off to the second brain and the limbic system, including the amygdala, the hippocampus, and the hypothalamus, They're going to add behavioral and psychological resolution to all the emotions that you happen to be experiencing at that given time. That's the emotional brain, I call it. I call that the emotional brain. It stores emotional memories into the emotional file bank. It developed based on instinct and past experience, and when triggered in stressful or trauma situations, that alarm, commonly referred to as a gradient of fight-flight, will kick in the fight-flight response. And the third brain, the neocortex, that's compared to the other brains. This brain is enormously sophisticated. It is our higher cognitive function, reasoning, logic, and thinking, and thoughts, and I call this our thinking brain. And if our thinking is incoherent, we're sending incoherent messages to the body down the spinal cord. The brain works through neogenesis. So it makes sense to me how healing can occur so rapidly. If done correctly, meditation can activate and cause new neural growth in a matter of quantum seconds. It's a leap. And it extends to people, things, plants, animals. There's no discretion here. If I think the same thoughts over and over again, I'm going to get the same results or outcome, am I not? So can I, if you think new thoughts for a second, thoughts to create new positive emotions possibly in your body, if I did that enough times, I'd create and teach the body, the mind, coherence, wouldn't I? I would. And on the other hand, here's the example. Why can a person be lying safely in their bed at night and experience a full-on blown panic attack without any dangerous stimuli around them to have caused the panic attack in the first place? So you can understand what I'm saying. It's very complex. Our mind is a powerful tool, and if it's used correctly, or it can be our worst adversary. The example above is that I just gave to you was somewhere in that person's life. They had a past experience that caused them to feel great anxiety, trauma. And that experience, over time, the mind took a snapshot of, when it happened. That's the memory, just like a camera. And it stored it within the body. And when triggered, a fearful thought causes an automatic chemical to be released in the body, and the person is either running away from a situation or fighting for their life. They're running on the sympathetic nervous system automatically. And so a memory, a small picture, even a word another person says can trigger that autonomic stored memory. You think a bad thought, it hits the body with a bad energy and a bad emotion. And now you have a physical acting out. Anger is a perfect one to use as an example, or fear. It's a vicious and constant, insidious circle, and it's unconscious to you. They even say, I don't even know why I am feeling this way or thinking negative thoughts that I'm thinking. I don't know where it comes from. They'll even tell you that. They'll say they don't know. It doesn't make sense then to you. Our brains don't know the difference. Our brains don't know the difference between an actual event that's going on right now or a remember event that you're remembering or recalling. It does not know the difference. If you think a negative thought and it causes yourself a negative emotion within your body, your brain is sending an incoherent message to the body. And now the body is knocked offline and it becomes incoherent, and you're returning under the fight-flight, meaning you believe you're in danger and that you have to either get out of there or fight. Negative thoughts keep coming and an emotion follows, and you are now angry, fearful, sad, etc., acting that all out in real time. I'm sure you've witnessed it. I've witnessed it.